jumping on. Okay, sorry, we're gonna record that. Susie's having a hard time getting on. So I know that a bunch of people are interested in the digestive enzyme. As I was saying before, digestive enzymes are the cornerstone of our health. They can impact our immune system, our mental health, our gut lining, our digestion. And we start losing digestive enzymes as we age, and then other people just are born with, less digestive enzymes or weaker digestive system. And Trent here started taking the enzymes first, and he had a chronic heartburn that you were dealing with since we started dating.
Almost every day.
Almost every day. And I was just blown away. So I'm going to show you how it works with a little demo. And this is a pudding pack. So when we're eating our food, any cooked or processed food, we need digestive enzymes to break them down. So I'm going to show you exactly how it works. We take 1 to 2 before we eat dinner. So we're about to have dinner after this tonight. We're having chicken and roasted vegetables. So we're going to need those digestive enzymes. So Trent's going to get one out and pour it in here. And then Jen, do you want to talk a little bit about digestive enzymes, why they're so important while this does its magic?
Yeah, absolutely. So digestive enzymes, first of all, like Benny said, as we age, we naturally don't digest food as well. And a lot of that has to do with our enzymes not being produced as well. And also because anytime we eat processed food, we're doing a little bit of damage. Every time we're, drink alcohol or get exposure to toxins or come down with a virus, all of that impacts our digestion. And what happens if we stop breaking down our food? So we're talking about like the carbohydrates, the fats, the sugars, the proteins, all of those things. When we are not breaking those down into the smallest molecular structure, what happens is they stay a larger molecule and they start floating around in the digestive system and in the body and causing problems. Things like it's going to cause things like inflammation. With proteins, it can actually cause an increase of uric acid in your body, which can cause kidney problems. There's lots of different things that can happen if your food isn't being broken down. But most importantly, if it's not being broken down to that small molecular structure, our body can't absorb the nutrients. So we need to get it down to the smallest molecular structure in order to be able to absorb those nutrients and utilize them in our body. So if we're not doing that effectively, we're not using our food to the highest degree, right? Because a lot of it just isn't breaking down and getting used properly. And so what also will happen is it increases our ability to detox, okay? Our detoxification processes are really, really important in order to keep our body healthy. And so what I love about this blend is it's not only a full spectrum digestive enzyme that's going to break everything down to the smallest molecular structure, but it's also got stabilized prebiotics and probiotics in it to help your gut get really healthy and be able to absorb the nutrients that are coming through in the food. And so it's like it's a whole package piece with one little bottle. And that's what I love about it, because as a holistic nutritionist, the most common thing prescribed for supplements as a holistic nutritionist is enzymes and probiotics. And now I can do it with one bottle. I can give an effective one to everyone with one bottle instead of needing 2. So I think like that is just a really, I think it's really effective to be able to only have to take one thing, and cost effective too, to only have to buy one bottle.
And the other thing that we've really found is that you actually are going to make the change in your life. So I'm sure Jen deals with this a lot. It's great to prescribe something to your clients or try and make a life change. But if you're taking 3 different bottles 4 times a day, it's really hard to keep that up. Trent's going to share a little bit about his experience on the enzymes.
Yeah. So I started taking them, and as Benny said, I had chronic heartburn almost daily. All my favorite foods gave me heartburn. Tacos every time, pasta with meat sauce every time, and I love those things. So I started taking them, and I think Benny noticed first, about maybe a week or 2 in. She's like, "You haven't complained about heartburn for like a week." And I thought about it, and it's true. So since then, I have not had heartburn since about I'd say September.
And he started the enzymes in September.
And it's been awesome. And then also, I mean, on top of that, not something I was looking for necessarily, but I lost about 8 pounds without changing anything in my diet or exercise routine. So that was pretty fantastic. And I'm more regular than I was as well. So like, or less regular, however you want to look at it.
And then I always like to share a little hack that I heard on one of these calls. And then now I always like to pass it along. If you do have a tummy ache or indigestion, I know a lot of people who are grabbing the enzymes if they're going on a trip, like to Mexico or anything like that, but you can actually break a capsule over your tongue. So I ate too quickly the other day and I had indigestion, which I don't get very often. And I broke a capsule over my tongue and it went away so quickly. So that's a little hack. I've had a few friends try it. So if you're having a sore tummy or something like that, you can also do that. I know, Jen, you have a friend with lactose intolerance that has a really awesome story. Do you want to share that one?
For sure. So yeah, even not even thinking about the like being bloated or regular or any of those things, but we know a lot of people with food sensitivities. Do you know anyone that has food sensitivities, like maybe dairy, gluten, any kind of food, whatever? So dairy is a big one. And I have a friend who has had increased problems with her digestion of dairy, to the point where she was not just, because the most commonly people just get like digestive problems, right? Like you might be running to the bathroom after you have dairy. But she actually started to develop an anaphylactic response to dairy. And even if it was like cross-contamination in the restaurant, she would have a problem. And she can now consume dairy with no problems at all after being on the enzymes for a month or so. She now, just as long as she's got her enzymes, she can have dairy. So even if she's not having dairy, if she's going to be eating out or like possibly being cross-contaminated with anything, as long as she has those enzymes, she doesn't have to worry about having that breathing problem after she consumes something with dairy in it. So it helps her stay safer when she's eating out and stuff too.
That's amazing. And one thing that we've noticed is because we're breaking down our food and digesting it properly, we're having a lot more energy in the evenings. And we ate out a couple weeks ago and we forgot our enzymes, which was rare. And we were super tired that night. So that is our.
I'm now keeping one in my vehicle. I'm keeping a bottle in my vehicle so that I don't have to think about bringing it. Just keep a bottle in the vehicle and then I'm good.
So we're going to show you, while we were talking, we're going to show you, this is what it would have done in your tummy. You'll see that it is liquefied. So it really works. And I love doing this demo because when you can actually see what something is doing for you, for me, I'm more likely to take it because I'm like, whoa, that really is working to break down my food. We're going to share about the collagen next, and then Beth's going to share about her collagen experience, but you can also share about the enzymes because she has a great story. So next we're going to talk about, my favorite product. I think it was Jen's first favorite product. This one is one of our best sellers, and this is our liquid collagen. So a few things that I'm learning about collagen, and then we'll hear from Jen, is that this one here is collagen peptides. It has 10 grams of protein in it per serving. So that is amazing. We also have an antioxidant blend in it, which Jen will share more, but it is more bioavailable to our bodies. But mostly for me, I was taking a powder. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a powdered collagen, for about 2 years. And I'm going to be honest, I noticed no difference. And within 2 weeks of being on the liquid collagen, my hip pain started going away and my plantar fasciitis started going away. And similar to my mom, I actually ran out and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get more of this, but I had 2 weeks to wait. And Trent experienced, I was going to the door like every day. Is it here yet? Is it here yet? And then a few other things that I've noticed is my hair is growing. My mom is on. I don't think you've seen my hair this long in a really long time. I was having trouble growing it. And I was also having a lot of shedding. So when I would take a shower, I would have clumps of hair in my hand, which wasn't normal for me. And now that I'm actually, Trent noticed it first. He was like, I'm not finding hair on the couch, in my car, everywhere. And even
Everywhere.
everywhere, even my eyelashes are growing. Like I wear mascara about once a month. So it's, I don't wear it every day, but I was putting it on the other day. We had dinner plans and I was like, whoa, these are way longer than they were 4 months ago. So you can really start to see the changes. And then the last one I noticed was I have a scar from a surgery 2.5 years ago. And within about 2 weeks, I came out of the shower one day and I could visibly see the scar fading. So when we say impact, you can really see some impact with this collagen. Jen, do you want to share a little bit more why we're seeing those changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things to where do I start? So the collagen is the difference between like most collagens on the market only have a 30% absorption rate, and they don't have anything else in them. They don't have the protein, they don't have the biotin, they don't have the antioxidant formula. They don't have any of those extra bonuses. So you just don't really notice much of a difference. I'm not going to say they're like bad for you or they're not creating some sort of impact, but it's not significant and it's not noticeable. Okay. And so with this, here's the thing. First of all, it is a type 1 collagen. Why is that important? Because the majority of the collagen in our body, I'm talking 90% plus, is made up of type 1 collagen. It's actually the type we need, and most collagens on the market are not type 1 collagen. So it's type 1 collagen. That's the collagen our body needs, but it also, why do we need to supplement? Because our body stops making it. Okay. So at around 20 years of age, our body starts to reduce the amount of collagen that we make. And by 40, typically most people are not really producing any at all. And that is why when we turn around that 40, we can like roll over in bed and hurt ourselves. Right? Like it doesn't take much to hurt yourself. And it's because one of the reasons is because of the reduced production of collagen in our body. Because when we think about collagen, Benny talked about the outwards appearance things that can happen with hair, skin, and nails, but the collagen is the structural protein of our body. So it is also holding together our gut lining, our bone matrix, our cartilage, our joint tissues. All of those things are also made up of this type 1 and type 2 and type 3 and type 4 collagens. But when we have an abundance of type 1 collagen in our body will automatically make type 2, 3, and 4 collagens. So we don't need to supplement for those ones. We just need to create an abundance of type 1 collagen in our body. Okay, so then what else do we have? It's like not just the fact that it's a liquid, highly absorbable collagen. It's the fact that it has these other products in it that increase what it does for us. So it has clinical doses of hyaluronic acid and biotin. You may find other collagens on the market that say biotin on the label, but unless it has 4,500 micrograms in it, it's not actually doing anything for you. It's not enough. It's just there for marketing, because then they can market it and people, biotin is a buzzword. Oh, it's got biotin. I need biotin. But if it does not have that clinical dosage, it actually doesn't do anything for you. So that's an important thing to recognize when you're looking at collagens is if it says biotin, to flip it over in the label, read the label. If it does not have 4,500 micrograms, it's not going to do anything for you. Okay. And then the other thing that Benny mentioned was the antioxidant formula. So often what you'll see in collagens is ascorbic acid. That's that isolate lab-derived vitamin C. What that means is it's just like a portion of vitamin C. It's not the whole molecule, and it doesn't deliver the same results. Okay. So what we have is an antioxidant formula, including pomegranate, Indian gooseberry, like the actual food with the full vitamin C, the full vitamin C molecule that's going to give us that antioxidant effect that we're really looking for. So it just increases the results. It's not that other ones are necessarily bad. It's just we're going to get more effect from one that has these natural ingredients in the clinical dosages.
So amazing.
Another thing that I just learned really recently, I was watching one of the doctors talk about our collagen, and the fact that it's actually a medical grade collagen that has been used in hospitals to treat patients. I did not know that until recently, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
And it was a burn hospital. So it would make sense why I had a cookie burn on my hand and it disappeared, and it had been there for about 8 months. So very cool. I love that we source things from the very best. We have Beth on the line, and she's going to share a little bit about her testimony. I love hearing from you every single time. And I have to tell you that I have known Beth a long time, and we talk every week, probably for the last 2 years. And she's going to tell you her story, but I have to tell you, the first time I saw her after she had been on these products for a couple months, it was like I was seeing a younger, 10-year younger version of her. She had this spring in her step and this energy about her, and literally my jaw dropped. So Beth, do you want to share a little bit about your experience?
I would love to. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background of where I was about 6 months ago, really, last July, August. I have fibromyalgia. I have had it since I was in my 20s. I'm now 58. And I also have, and with fibro comes a whole lot of other various illnesses and issues and problems. One of which being an issue with your gut, which the enzymes have helped tremendously. The major thing I was having though by last year is that I also have osteoarthritis in both knees, in my thumb joints. And anyone who knows me knows that I am a compulsive knitter and crafter, and not being able to use my hands properly was a real problem. My knees were at a point, I was bone on bone on my left knee, and I'm actually now waiting to get a knee replacement. And my right knee wasn't that much farther behind. So by the end of last summer, which, and summer is normally the best time of year for me because it's warm, it's dry, it's a, you know, the environment around me is such that I feel better at than any other time of the year. And by the end of last summer, I was in so much pain and my energy level was so low that I could barely function. I've also had some issues with my back, but it was mainly my knees that were really kicking up. My knees were in so much pain that I could not walk from one end of my house to the other without using the cane because I was in that much pain. And the worst day was one day when I thought, you know, it's a lovely day. I hadn't had a chance to get out and do any gardening, and I really wanted to get out in the garden. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go out and do that. And I went outside and realized, oh, the recycling has to go out because it's pickup tomorrow. So I made 3 trips down my driveway to take the recycling down. And by the time I was finished taking 3 loads of stuff down to the end of the driveway and back, I was in so much pain, I had to go inside and sit down. I could not continue outside gardening. And I was like, I'm 57 years old. Is this what the rest of my life is going to be? Because if it is, I don't want to live this way. I was just so frustrated and so upset with just that whole situation. And then it wasn't that much longer after that Benny called me and said, you know, I think I might have a solution for you, because she knew how low energy and how lousy I was feeling. And so she suggested I try this collagen, and I tried it. Within a week of starting to use the collagen, I noticed I wasn't as stiff getting out of bed. My daughter commented to me, you know, Mom, you're walking like a normal person again. I wasn't walking that stiff-legged walk you do when you've got bad knees. And yeah, my energy level has come back. I don't use my cane most of the time. I do use it if I know I'm going to be walking for a while, or, you know, if I'm doing something, or on a really rainy, miserable day when the weather is kicking up, that can often still cause me some issues, but nothing like what I was having before. And today I actually took the dog for a walk for the first time in months because, you know, I just haven't even been able to deal with doing that. So yeah, this has completely turned so much of my life around because I'm feeling so much better. I've got more energy. I've got some of the other products that I've been using have helped with, you know, my mental health and clarity. And Benny mentioned the enzymes. So one of the issues that happens often with fibromyalgia is you get IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And I was at a point where I was getting an issue at least once every 2 weeks. And, where I'd have a day that I couldn't be that far away from the bathroom. And that's just not a very pleasant way to be, especially if it hits when you're out somewhere and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, where's a washroom I can use? I started using the enzymes in September, and I think I have had one issue from September to the end of January. I had one issue or one day, and it only lasted a little tiny bit. And that's what I didn't even think about it until about 3 months after I started using it. And I thought, I haven't had that problem in months. Like, this is really interesting because I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the level of energy that I got back. There's just so many changes, and I radical change to the way I was feeling before. So that's all I can say. Oh, and my skin looks better too.
And we will show you some pictures at the end.
And my hairdresser mentioned to me on Tuesday, I was at my hairdresser and pushing some of the gray roots back in. And he mentioned to me that my hair is a lot thicker than it was. So yeah, that's a lot of changes, a lot of good ones.
And I don't know if you mentioned your thumb braces, but
no, I'm not wearing them very much anymore. Occasionally I use them, but yeah, I went to Mexico and I sat and knit on the plane all the way home for 4 or 5 hours, and I wasn't having problems with my thumbs. Like, I can use my hands again, and you don't realize how much something as small as pain in your thumb joint is really laying you low until it's gone again, and you're like, oh wow, I can do these things and it's not causing me pain anymore. But that was, and that seems like such a minor thing. It's, it's just your joint in your thumb, but that can have a major effect on your quality of life and then on your mental health. Because when you can't do the things that you used to love doing because of pain, it just affects so much of you mentally. You just don't want to, it's like, I don't want to live like that anymore, and I don't see a way out. And I was very depressed by the end of August last year. So this has made such a huge difference in my life.
Thank you so much for sharing, Beth. I am just so thrilled at how well you're feeling, but mostly when I see you, you just have this spark back that I'm just so excited.
Yeah,
So
and
total radical difference. I can't thank you enough for calling me, Benny. That's all I can say. I'm going to jump off because I've got to go and read. It's story time with my grandkids. So I got to go do that.
Thank you for jumping on, Beth.
No problem. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that I just met Beth like in September, and it's a different person.
It is. Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
So
Yeah, huge difference. So, okay, I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks so much. The other one that I know that Grace is on, and you're dealing with some back pain that I'd love to chat more about, is our Optimize. So this is a proteolytic enzyme. There's also turmeric in it. And this is great for any inflammation in your body. And I like analogies. So I've heard it described as like a Pac-Man for eating up the inflammation in your body. Jen, do you want to share a little bit more about the Optimize? And I know your husband has a great story about that.
He's busy watching football, sorry.
As with everybody else.
Right. So he's just in the other room watching football with his dad right now. But so it's a proteolytic enzyme, which what that means is that goes in and eats up and breaks down proteins that might be like scarred tissue, damaged tissues in the body, and breaks it apart so the body can get rid of it. And then that allows the nutrients to get into the cells to start rebuilding those cells in a healthy way. And so that product was actually made for pro athletes. It was actually developed for pro athletes to get them back on the field faster. And so it's meant to speed up healing. Think of it as like a natural ibuprofen. So it's an anti-inflammatory. It's going to take down that inflammation and it's going to help that body heal faster. And that is something that I think, like, whether you have a chronic issue or a long-term or some sort of issue that just comes up acutely, you can use it like it's up in your medicine cabinet, use it as needed. So it could be something that if you're dealing with a chronic issue, you'd want to take it daily. If it's something that just kind of like comes up, then you could use it to help you get through a period of time. So I've been bugging Mark to say he hurt himself snowboarding for the first time this week, and he hurt his back. So I've been hounding on him to get to take more of it. But so he actually had tendonitis in both his arms from doing concrete work as in construction this past year, and he just wasn't able to shake it. It wasn't going away, and he thought when he stopped working through the summer that by winter it would go away just on its own because he's not doing the same type of work, but it wasn't going away at all. Got so bad he couldn't even like hold a beer without it hurting, right? So it was really affecting his quality of life. And so he just couldn't do the things that he could do before physically. And so he actually after I took it for my back, I was like, you got to try this in it. So he tried the Glow and the Optimize together, and within 2 weeks the tendonitis was completely gone. So that's like amazing. Right? Taking something natural that has no side effects and for it to be effective. I think like if you could take something natural that works, like pharmaceuticals have their place, absolutely. But if we have a natural option that doesn't come with any side effects, let's give it a go.
Absolutely. And as Jen was saying, you don't want to be taking over-the-counter pain medications every day if you don't need them. And so it's great that you can load on them if you're having acute pain. The other one that I had heard, which is why I love coming to these talks, is that it can also be good for fighting viruses. So my son has had more colds and flus this year than ever before. And I was starting to feel a cold come on last week. So I took some in the morning, some in the evening, and again the following morning, and I kicked it. So I'm feeling something coming on again today. So fingers crossed, I'm taking it again. So let's see how that works. The other one I love to talk about is our nootropics, and that is our Mojo. My mom shared a little bit about that. It also comes in a zest, and these are really great for energy and focus as well as mood. So I don't know anybody else, but some days I just feel tired, especially this time of year. And I had heard so many amazing things about the Mojo, and I love coffee. So I thought, if I can swap something out that I'm already doing on a regular that's going to benefit my health, why not give it a shot? So I switched from coffee to Mojo. And I have noticed a huge increase in my energy, but also just getting things done around the house, whether it's a reno or cleaning out a closet or my office downstairs so that my parents have somewhere to stay when they come visit. Things like that, I have found it to be hugely beneficial. I know the zest is a really great one as well if you don't like coffee or you prefer sort of something more refreshing. And Trent really likes this one in the afternoon. And I know Jen's husband likes to take it when he's driving. So we have another friend, Cassie, whose husband drives at night, or maybe there's some people who work in the evenings, or you're looking for some extra energy, but you don't want to put anything in your body that's not good for you. This can be really good. Jen, do you want to talk a little bit about the nootropics?
Sure. So the Mojo is just like a hot version, has 2 flavors, chocolate or coffee. The zest actually has 2 lemonade flavors. One of them's like a pink lemonade kind of flavor, and one of them is a roasted peach lemonade flavor. And so those are the options for the 4 flavors, but they all do the same thing. And so what it is it's actually green coffee being mixed with L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid that the body needs. And with the combination of those 2 products, lots of studies have been done that show that improves mood and focus and gives increased energy. One of the things I like about it is it's not just like caffeine is like a drug-induced energy boost. So you'll get a big high, but then you come back down and you end up on this cycle, which is really tough for your adrenals. And so it can put you on the path to exhaustion. But what happens with this mix with the L-theanine is you get an even keel energy. You're not going to get like a big spike. You're just going to have raised energy that's going to last and be sustained all day long. It also helps with your sleep. So a lot of people talk about how they feel like they're getting a better sleep at night since taking this. So you get more energy during the day and a better sleep at night. But there is also something in it called, it's a patented formula called Chromax, but one of the most important ingredients that's in this Chromax is chromium, and chromium is really good at helping to balance blood sugars. So it is really great for anyone who's looking to manage their blood sugars or for any sort of weight management. It helps you stay full and feel satiated. So it's really great for that side of things too.
So awesome. So that is our Mojo. Jen, was there any other products that you wanted to talk about tonight?
I think that's good. We talked about lots. I would love to share some of those pictures, because pictures,
Yes.
Pictures really can't deny pictures. It's right there in front of our faces, right? And then yeah, I think that we've talked about a lot of different products.
I'm going to go back to my slideshow here and just share with you, as Jen was saying, when you can see results, I know it blows my mind every time. So here on the left is our friend Nicole, and she started the Glow, the Mojo, and the Enrich, which are 3 of our impact products. So those are 3 products that people tend to see results right away within a few weeks. And you can see that her body composition, really from inflammation, has really changed in a short period of time. On the right, this is Trent's scale. I told him, before you take the enzymes, take a picture of your weight. And he got on a couple weeks later and was down, as he said, about 7 or 8 pounds. And then this on the left is my friend Leslie, who could not be on tonight, but she started taking the Glow Collagen. That's the only thing she started taking. And after a month, she took photos and she actually thought it was the wrong leg. So she had to go back to her freckle on her leg. And you can see that her varicose veins, which is something that runs in her family, often, I think her dad had to get surgery, and you can see that they have really reduced. So she called me actually in tears. She was like, I cannot believe. And then you can see on the right is our friend Lori Allen. And she was actually taking the collagen to help with an injury, and as well as for healing her gut. But she took pictures of everything, which is what we tell people. When you start using the product, take pictures of everything, because as we've heard tonight, you don't always notice the changes, but when you can see them, and it really looks like someone took an iron to her bum. So that was the collagen. And then the next one here is my results. You can see my hair has grown a ton, even still more from this last photo, my nails, and then you can see my scars starting to disappear. The last one, we didn't talk about it. I know my mom is taking the Rejuvenate as well, the skin cream. It is amazing. And Beth, who we heard from tonight, she sent me a picture. She started taking this, using it on her face in October. And she sent me a before and after picture. And I was not intending to buy the cream right away, but I decided I was going to try it after seeing that photo. And you can see my skin from taking the collagen, but as well the Rejuvenate. And then little testimony for my little guy. He has had a cold and has had a raw nose, and literally like chases me around with a sword and a shield from putting any cream on it. So I snuck in at nighttime and I put some Rejuvenate under his nose, and it was the best it has looked in 2 weeks. So not only good for wrinkles, but also just your skin in general. So those are some photos. We'd love to hear from you guys. Grace, which product is jumping out at you from the
The Glow and the Optimize.
Yeah.
The enzymes a little bit too, but yeah. I have rheumatoid arthritis and I have osteoporosis and I have a whole lot of things going on. So I may give this a try and take it from there.
Perfect. And do you have any other questions for us?
Not at this point, I don't. It's all been explained fairly well. Just where to order it and cost and all that.
Yeah.
I
So
need to
Jen
know.
will be able to give you a link to order. I know Jen texted me right before. She's in a tricky situation trying to save a cat on the farm right now. So she wasn't able to make it on. They found a cat locked in a barn and she's trying to revive this kitty. So
Yeah,
hopefully
she
she was
told
able
me.
to do that. Yeah. So she wasn't able to be on the call, but I let her know that you were on here. So she knows you made it on the call. So just check in with her and she will give you a link to be able to order and give you what your options are to be able to try it out. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, it's so good to meet you.
It was
Thanks
good
for
to meet
coming
all
on,
of you.
Grace,
Thank
and
you for joining us.
Mom and
Thank
Dad,
you.
thanks for jumping on. And Susie will send you the recording. And let us know if you have any questions.
I
Yeah,
I have
certainly
one quick
will.
question for Jen.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
When you forget to take your enzymes
Yep.
until after the meal, is it worth taking them after the meal? I
Yeah,
should
like
take
if
it
you,
before, right?
you're supposed to take it before for the
Yeah.
most effectiveness, but if you take it and you kind of have a tummy ache, it can still help. It can definitely still help. Sometimes I overeat and then I take an extra one after, but I try not to do that too often, but sometimes we do forget. And so I wouldn't say it's, unless it's like an hour later, then you've kind of missed that window. But if you're just like almost done your meal or just after your meal, it will still help a little bit because the food will still be sitting in your stomach.
And another thing too, like Benny mentioned earlier, if you open the pill and put it on your tongue,
Yeah,
your body doesn't have to break down the capsule first, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be effective probably like 10 minutes sooner because you're not breaking down the capsule.
We've
Yeah.
gone out for dinner before and he's taken two. And because Trent has a lot of gut issues, sometimes he'll take an extra one if it's a meal that's really gonna upset his tummy. So really good question. I have one person watching the recording, Jen, that's wondering about she's on beta blockers and a blood thinner, and she was wondering about something to take for toxicity, as well as what would you recommend if people are on pharmaceuticals in terms of checking about what to take.
Well, every pharmaceutical is different, so I couldn't blanket statement that at all. And I always have to say that I'm not allowed to give advice on this and that you would have to double check with your doctor no matter what you hear from me, okay? Because they're the ones that get the last say. So one of the things to maybe be like a blood thinner would be to check in with the Optimize.
Yeah.
Because that may be something that might contraindicate. The Glow, absolutely, like nothing is going to be contraindicative of the Glow, the collagen. It is all stuff that our body needs. Same with enzymes and probiotics. It is all stuff that is already within our body or what should be within our body. It is not an extra chemical or anything like that. And even with like the vitamins, it is all whole food nutrients, chelated minerals. It's not got other chemicals that would mix with the drug chemicals, if that makes sense. So of course I can't say blanket statement across with most things, but those two products I would pretty safely say that they're not going to mix up with any drugs, but the other ones of course would be dependent on what the drug is, and always check with your doctor and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Okay, so awesome. Okay, well, happy Sunday, everyone. Any update on the Super Bowl?
I lost it. I don't know.
Kansas City one.
Okay, well, happy
Okay.
Super Bowl Sunday, everyone.
By a field goal in the last second.
Oh wow.
Holy cow.
So no overtime.
Have
I
a
get to go-
TV,
What
so
an
we
I
exciting
get to go
game.
home.
didn't know it was Super Bowl Sunday. That's why people were dropping like flies tonight. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in,
Okay.
everyone, and happy Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.